This is macOS Ken.
iPhone's teed up for a banner year, surprising news around iPhone Air, and a short trip to Star City. It is Thursday, the 26th of March, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by NordLayer, a toggle-ready network security platform built for today's business. Some of the most impressive things about NordLayer are things you should never see, thanks to its zero-trust architecture and its built-in threat protection. Zero trust means access is only granted to the right users under the right conditions, so you won't see users in your system who shouldn't be there. While your teams need to know how to spot threats, NordLayer's threat protection works to keep threats like malware, ransomware, and phishing away from your team. They're not hiding the bad stuff, they're keeping it at bay. Additionally, they partnered with CrowdStrike, bringing Falcon endpoint protection to small and mid-sized businesses. And it works with the hardware you already have, making NordLayer both effective and cost-effective. But the cost gets even better with their exclusive offer for macOS Ken listeners. Get up to 22% off NordLayer yearly plans plus 10% on top with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. Try it risk-free with their 14-day money-back guarantee. NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. Apple seems to be messing up smartphone numbers for 2026 in a good way. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note from Morgan Stanley's Eric Woodring earlier this week, digging into smartphone purchase intent for this year. According to the note, their 2025 AlphaWise smartphone survey indicates that US and China upgrade rates over the next 12 months are expected to expand, with both markets reaching all-time survey highs. And that is almost all iPhone. Apple remains the only brand with both a positive and improving year-on-year net switching rate, according to the note, which goes on to say all other major smartphone brands, with the exception of Google, exhibit negative net switching rates, implying that Apple is positioned to be the clearest market share beneficiary in 2026, while Android vendors are likely to lose share. In the US, iPhone upgrade intent is said to be driven by advanced features and upgrade eligibility. Meanwhile, better overall device quality is the number one reason why smartphone owners in China are switching to iPhone, according to Woodring. The Morgan Stanley analyst has an overweight rating on Apple's shares. His price target on the shares is $315. Remember last fall's unmitigated failure that was iPhone Air? Yeah, it looks like it might not have failed. A piece from 9to5Mac has cellular network data from Ookla showing iPhone Air to be about twice as popular as iPhone 16 Plus was at the same stage of its release cycle. Ookla is doing what it does, tracking speeds and connectivity for various smartphones in the wild. What they found was wild. There were roughly twice as many measurements this year for iPhone Air as they found for the same period last year for iPhone 16 Plus. Now, if you've not spotted any iPhone Air units in the wild, you may be hunting in the wrong parts. Based on Ookla's data, the Air actually accounted for significantly higher shares in other countries besides the US, taking as much as 11.2% of the pie in South Korea. It was also popular in Japan, Sweden, and Singapore. Boiling down the numbers, the piece says while the Air is seemingly the least popular model of iPhone 17's generation, Apple will still consider it a relative success, as this report shows the Air has firmly eclipsed the sales performance of the outgoing Plus model. Speaking of performance, Ookla was actually trying to measure connectivity performance. Another piece on the Ookla numbers from Apple MOSK looks at the performance of Apple's in-house cellular modem, C1X. The firm says its data indicates that Apple has achieved real-world parity in download and latency performance with the Qualcomm X80 across numerous networks in both ideal and challenging conditions, proving the silicon is a performance equalizer rather than a compromise. Additionally, Apple MOSK points out that the Apple-designed C1X benefits from tight integration with the Apple-designed A-series processors powering iPhone. That makes the user experience much snappier, according to the site. Where C1X stumbles is on the upload. Apple MOSK says the Qualcomm X80-equipped iPhone 17 Pro Max maintained up to a 32% lead in upload speeds over C1X. Ookla says that indicates that Apple's cellular modem may be held back by limited uplink carrier aggregation capability. That said, the race is on, and it looks like it's an actual race. A weird-sounding prediction from TrendForce. The lack of NAND flash may lead to more smartphones with higher storage capacity. The firm posted a post to that effect earlier this week. According to that, this growth is fueled by the discontinuation of low-capacity models as NAND producers upgrade their processes, along with increased AI-related demand in flagship smartphones from leading brands. We've actually already seen this happen. TrendForce points out that the iPhone 17 series raised its minimum storage configuration from 128 gigabytes to 256 to ensure sufficient capacity for AI applications and user data. Oh yeah, remember us, the users? What's funny is, industry watchers had thought that smartphone brands would reduce specifications to protect margins amid rising NAND flash prices, according to the firm. That might have led to a decline in average storage capacity in 2026, but Ragnarok takes no prisoners. In a 1-2 punch, the firm says upgrades at NAND flash manufacturers are reducing the supply of low-capacity products, delivering punch number 1. Weaker profit margins are also leading some smartphone makers to reduce shipments of low-capacity models or drop those models entirely, landing punch number 2. TrendForce figures Android makers will follow Apple's lead throughout the year. The way they see it, the 128 gigabyte storage tier may gradually disappear from mainstream Android smartphones by the end of 2026, with 256 emerging as the new standard configuration. You know, I remember waiting a few weeks longer than I liked for my first iPhone because by the time I finally decided I could afford it, all they had was the 4 gigabyte model. And I wanted the bigger, beefier 8 gigabytes. The future, it ain't what it used to be. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Your needs for your site would probably not be the same as mine. Even if we did pretty much the same thing, we'd want our sites to look different and play to our different strengths. Both of those play to strengths of Squarespace. Squarespace starts by asking questions. What's your site about and what do you want it to do for you? Armed with these answers, Squarespace helps you build the site that's right for you, either with their library of award-winning templates or by working with Blueprint AI, the AI-enhanced Squarespace builder. Using basic information about what you do, what you're trying to do, and the mood you're trying to set, you can have a site built in no time. Once it's built, Squarespace helps people find it. Squarespace sites are all made to be noticed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. Put yourself out there, and Squarespace will help people find you. Give them a try with a free trial at squarespace.com/macOSKen. Then when you're ready to launch, use offer code macOSKen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Stake your place online with Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/macOSKen for a free trial. Then use offer code macOSKen for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get started today at squarespace.com/macOSKen. The AirPods Max 2 delivery mystery has been solved. Apple announced the updated cans early last week. When they did, they set pre-orders for yesterday, Wednesday, the 25th of March, with delivery said to begin early next month. Looks like they meant really early. With pre-orders starting yesterday, 9 to 5 Mac says both Apple and Amazon list ship times of the 1st of April through the 3rd of April for Apple's latest headphones. Apple's gone big on data for developers. TechCrunch says the Cupertino company hit code monkeys with over 100 new metrics yesterday. The piece says those should help developers track areas like monetization and subscription data, as well as other metrics meant to clarify in-app purchase performance, as well as how various offers are performing. While there's no shortage of information like this out there for developers, those are all guesstimates. TechCrunch says the advantage of the new App Store Connect metrics is that they are the only ones based on Apple's own data. More info on that is available on Apple's site. Word of a couple more new features from this week's round of OS updates, both tied to macOS Tahoe 26.4. We'll start with a post from Cult of Mac, which has the updated operating system warning when a charger is too slow. According to the Cult, the slow charger warning can help a user quickly identify underpowered adapters that could slow down charging or affect their MacBook's performance during use. The other feature is a decent safety warning for the uninitiated. 9 to 5 Mac says the 26.4 Tahoe update comes with a new terminal security pop-up when one first tries to paste in commands. The piece says folks new to the Mac, like those noobs with Neos over the past few weeks, might be tricked into pasting commands into the terminal. That can be a first step to bad guys stealing information or getting the user to install malware. Enter macOS 26.4. 9 to 5 Mac says it adds a new terminal pop-up when pasting commands from other apps for the first time. That pops the alert. Your Mac has not been harmed. Scammers often encourage pasting text into terminal to try and harm your Mac or compromise your privacy. These instructions are commonly offered via websites, chat agents, apps, files, or a phone call. At that point, users can back away or go straight ahead. As for people who know what they're doing, you will only be nagged once. The piece stresses that the warning pops the first time a user tries to paste to the terminal in macOS 26.4, not every time. News of another update from Apple this week. A day before the 26.4 releases, Mac Rumors ran a piece that had Apple updating the Apple Sports app. Is it just me, or do they do this like once a week? The update brought 3 improvements, according to the piece: probable starting pitchers for MLB games, car numbers and NASCAR leaderboards, and the ability to turn off sports betting odds directly in the application. The Apple Sports app is free. The update is up now in the App Store. And finally today, while the sun may be setting on For All Mankind next year, the show's alt history universe is expanding. Engadget ran a piece Wednesday that had Apple TV offering a teaser for the Mankind spin-off, Star City. The second series goes back to the beginning, tracing the space race from the first moon landing. The premise of For All Mankind had viewers following the U.S. space program in a world where the Soviet Union got to the moon first. Going back to that point, Star City follows the race from the Soviet side. And yes, it came with video. The brief teaser doesn't show us much in the way of plot, according to Engadget, but having watched it a time or two, I will say it does set the mood. Apple calls it a propulsive, paranoid thriller. Descriptions the trailer lives up to. The first 2 episodes of Star City hit Apple TV at the end of May. The teaser is up now on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Collect your tokens and let's get on to the next round.